Yes, I'd be happy to. So, I have slowly but surely been identifying less and less with she, her, hers, which were my pronouns for years. And for a while, I was like, I guess they, them, theirs, whatever worked for me. But I've realized that we're all so inherently connected that what makes me feel most validated is when I and when others use us and ours and we. Like, I love that for us. Like, instead of I love that for you, like, I love that for us. And things like that, you know what I mean? It makes me feel really happy. And as often as I can, I strive to use collective pronouns.
That doesn't even make any sense!
So that young lady we just heard from in the first clip, who clearly doesn't shave her underarms, uses we, us pronouns. I think that makes less sense than they, them. How do you use we, us when talking about a single person? There I go again, trying to make sense of the nonsensical. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a pretty crazy Clown World update for you guys today, and as usual, we have no time to waste, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this slightly husky individual is Bonnie. Now, Bonnie is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a transbian or trans lesbian. Now, my only advice to Bonnie is if you're going for the whole woman look, maybe get rid of the 5 o'clock shadow. But besides that, I think he nailed it.
That boy is a P-I-G pig.
All right, let's keep it moving with yet another Hollywood celebrity coming out in support of Carmelo Harris and Tim Walz. Here we have actor Sam Waterston. Now, everything out of this guy's mouth is complete nonsense. But he starts us off by saying, another white guy. What does his race have to do with anything? Roll it.
Hello, I'm Sam Waterston, another white guy with a bunch of miles on him, talking to you about the biggest election I've ever known. I'm hoping Bruce Springsteen's inspiring Instagram message and speaking up the way he did will become a tidal wave of voices. And so I'm adding mine because this is the most divided this great country has been since the Civil War, and it doesn't have to be this way. If people my age, which means anyone of voting age, will get out and vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and against Trump and Vance, it will help. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are experienced, dedicated public servants. They bring fairness with them, and honesty, empathy, common decency, the basic qualities we've always thought of as the best American virtues. They're not liars. They face facts, like the facts about the climate crisis. That's a problem you can't begin to fix when you're lying that it doesn't exist. In the midst of floods and fires and drought like the world has never seen, in the midst of hurricanes in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas that the whole country has never seen. Donald Trump is a liar. He's dangerous to the basic things that hold this country together, that hold it up. Respect for the sanctity of elections, the peaceful transfer of power, the sanctity of the law, truth-telling, and the facts, the most basic stuff. J.D. Vance is lying as smoothly and easily as Donald Trump.
Shut the f*** up!
You know, that's a shame. He seems like a sweet old man, and he's a pretty good actor, too. Anyway, next up, so Jeffrey, our old pal Jeffrey, decided to step into the political arena and give us his opinion on the upcoming election. Now, keep in mind as you're listening to this, Jeffrey's TikToks aren't aimed at adults. They're aimed at kids. Roll it.
Hi. Should you cut off contact with family members just because they are voting for Donald Trump? Yes. If so far they have not been able or willing to listen to compassion, to listen to kindness, to listen to you, or even to do their own research and discover that hatred's not the answer, that love and kindness is the answer. If they are unwilling to change, they must experience consequences. And you should not withhold those consequences from them. The consequence in this case would be they don't get your beautiful, loving, wonderful presence in their lives. It's over. And they are gone. You need to make it real for yourself.
Yeah, well, you're one sick, miserable, evil SOB.
All right, next up we have a man on the street interview, but I guess we should probably call this one woman on the street. Now, we've seen several of these man on the street type interviews here on the channel in the past, but this one's probably the craziest one we've seen so far. And as you're listening to this young lady, keep in mind, he can and will vote. Roll it.
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala.
Why are you voting for Kamala?
Because Trump sucks. Because she's trying to make the world a lot cheaper to live in. The amount of money that costs to just do anything keeps increasing so much.
So do you think that's Biden and Kamala's fault?
I think that's always been happening. How much things have cost has always been, like, increasing.
So you think Kamala's going to fix it, even though she's already been VP for 4 years?
What did Trump do?
I think he fixed it.
Did he?
Yeah, I think the economy was way better. Houses were cheaper, rent was cheaper, grocery prices were cheaper. What is Kamala's greatest achievement as VP?
I literally don't know. I have no idea.
You don't know anything she's done.
No, I don't.
But she's still the better choice.
Yes, because I know a lot of things that he has done.
Like, you know a lot of things about Trump that are negative?
Yeah. He's racist. He's sexist.
Okay, well, what has he done that's racist?
Specifically, I don't watch anything with Trump in it. I just see, like, I don't watch things politically.
So you just have an opinion, but you don't really know why?
Yeah.
You see that? That's a stupid bitch.
All right, next up we have this fella who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a pansexual. Now, he's on some kind of radio show or podcast or something, but listen to what he says here at the very end of this clip. Roll it.
So I call myself pansexual these days. Throw it in
Okay.
the pan. No, meaning like it's literally about the hearts, not the parts. You know,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of thing. And like,
That's a
'cause
nice
you
thing.
can have a connection with somebody, and you might not be able to rationalize that connection,
Totally,
but you could be absolutely besotted with somebody. You could feel that, you know what I mean, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's recognizing that. So for me, that's where pansexual differs from bisexual. Because it also includes non-binary and trans people. You see, with the GRC process, there's thousands of men in this country that haven't had downstairs surgeries, but they have a male birth certificate. Similar with thousands of women in the country that haven't had downstairs surgery, but they've got a female birth certificate. The world needs to catch up.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
All right, next up we have this fellow who identifies as a trans lesbian and says anyone who is not trans is embarrassing. I think he's got it backwards. Roll it.
You're not transgender. You're like embarrassing. I'm sorry. Your doctor told you what your gender was and you listened? Oh, poor baby. My doctor told me I was a man, and then I spent 19 years as a theater kid twink, a football center, and then I became a woman. My life is so much cooler than yours. I got to choose femininity. I got to choose to transition. It was amazing. I took what I had, what was given to me, and I changed it to fit what I wanted my life to look like. There is so much amazing, beautiful freedom in being transgender, and we as a society treat being transgender as a curse. But the truth of it is it's not a curse at all. It's arguably the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And now, because I'm transgender, I'm in one of the best relationships I've ever been in my entire life. I'm a successful-ish playwright. I do all these amazing things partly because I'm transgender, because my doctor said, you're a man, and I said, wait 17 years. I think that the high heels that I'm wearing at age 6 is telling you something.
What are you talking about? You're delusional.
Hey guys, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Now, this is his first time seeing Taylor Swift live in concert. But that's no excuse for this kind of behavior. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by none other than Pastor Bob Rogers. Pastor Bob, thank you so much, sir, for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate the support. And I want to give a big shout out to today's honorable mention, Lee Willis, for leaving a super thanks on the last video. So, Lee, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So once again, today's video sponsor is Pastor Bob Rogers, with the honorable mention going to Lee Willis. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, we've seen enough of this nonsense for one day. Get this off the screen, please.
You act like a little bitch right now.
All right, next up we have this fella who is currently wearing diapers and says he always will wear diapers. Roll it.
I can't remember a time when I was outside of diapers. I'm currently in diapers right now, and forever and always will be in diapers.
A few moments later.
He was a retard.
All right, next up we have this fellow who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a trans activist. Now, what he says here very much reminds me of the kind of stuff we always hear from Jeffrey. Isn't it interesting how these people are always trying to separate kids from their parents? Roll it.
This is just your monthly reminder that if your parents disowned you because you're queer, they're no longer mom and dad. They're fucking Dick and Deb, Harold and Sue, Geraldine and George, Michael and Molly, fucking Sam and Samantha. I don't know what the fuck they are, but they're anything other than mom and dad. You fucking remember that shit.
A little creepy, bro.
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with yet another clip from the Cackling Hens on the View talking to Carmelo Harris. Now, this one is interesting because Joy Behar says that she doesn't understand how anyone could vote for Donald Trump, and all those people must be misinformed. Then Carmelo Harris ends this clip with a big, fat, fucking lie. Anyway, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
People are saying this could be the closest election in a century. Yeah. I personally cannot understand why anyone would vote for him. A lot of it is, I think, he's getting bad information. People are getting bad information from other channels. Mm-hmm. But do you have an explanation for this at all?
Well, let me just add to your list. I mean,
we don't listen. It's only an hour's
including, he has said he would terminate the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah.
Lying bitch. She is lying like a motherfucker. I know that. Ooh, that TSA shit tingles. This motherfucker's lying.
And you ain't black.